Here we go.
What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be just a tad bit different than any other video I've done before, just because I kind of feel like it's a subject that I need to touch on. Kind of goes in response to what's kind of going on so far, and well, let's just get into it. But to begin the video, you've seen in the beginning, before the intro, a squat scene. So let me start by saying I wanted to get back up to 315 and squat for a little while now. Trying to do cardio and trying to do all that. You know, I was losing strength, wasn't really maintaining, wasn't eating right to maintain my strength, and I lost some of my strength. So on my last 5x5 the other day, I threw on 315. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know if I accomplished the 5 or if I fell short. But let's find out here on the next clip.
Here we go.
Just kidding. You're gonna have to wait till the end of the video or somewhere throughout the video till I put that on. But first, let's get on to today's subject. So, one thing that I want to talk about today: circumstances. We all have them, right? And the reason I wanted to talk about that today is I've seen a lot of things about, you know, people having certain circumstances going on, and they just continue to find excuses for their circumstances. It's very possible that they got a lot going on. However, there's two different perspectives here that I wanted to touch on today. One of them being that you can have a set of circumstances and you can have a woe is me mentality where you're gonna find an excuse, you're gonna find a reason for those circumstances to let you down, number one. You're gonna find a reason for those circumstances to affect you negatively. And what I mean by negatively is that you're going to use that as an excuse for everything. You're going to find that if something happens, one, it's because of bad luck. Then if something happens again, you're like, oh my God, now two things. And you continue to find a reason for something to be bad, if that makes sense. Or one thing that I was told a long time ago is that if you have a set of things that seem to not be going right, it's because something good is coming your way. Just a different perspective of looking at things. So instead of saying or trying to figure out a way to handle a certain situation that you really have no control over and looking at it in a negative perspective, just think of it as something bad happened, that must mean that something good's gonna happen in the end. Alright? Or you can take a look at your circumstances. You can say, hey, I can't maybe control the circumstances, but I can control how I react to those circumstances. Let me give you a perspective, right? Or an example. My little man broke his tibia. Couldn't control that even if I wanted to, because it was something that it was hard for me to watch, right? So because of that, I've been having to go to the gym in the morning times. Now in the morning, I only have just about an hour or so to go to the gym before the lady has to go to work, right? Now that means that I can't be recording too much in the morning time because I just have a set amount of time to be able to get my workout in. But instead of me being, hey, I can't do any kind of recording in the gym, that doesn't mean that I still can't make it a point to try to get to the gym in the evening hours as well, once in the blue, work out some type of schedule to not only have my circumstances affect my life, but, you know, take advantage of the situation, right? So even though the circumstances affected me negatively, I'm trying to look at something positive within those circumstances, see what I can do to get over that hump or get over making anything an excuse, right? So that's one thing that I've never wanted to do, is make anything an excuse based on certain circumstances. Just got to find a positive in whatever's going on. So I'll stop looking at it as a woe is me mentality and look at it like, you know what? Let's turn over a new leaf. Let's start fresh. It's 2018. Stop with all the excuses. Stop with everything saying, you know, stop with, you know, why me this, why me that. Instead of that, turn it around and say, you know what? How can I make the situation better? How can I take the focus off of myself and be a positive influence on somebody else? And that's really kind of the message that I had today. Like I said, a little bit different video than normally. But I felt like it just needed to be touched on because there's a lot of woe is me mentality out there, a lot of why me this, why me that. You know what? Let's take a spin on that mentality and say, you know what? Let's begin to make a positive influence. Take the eye off of yourself and focus on how you can help others and better their situation. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like I said, it's a little bit different. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you can give it a thumbs up too. You know what I'm saying? Just show that you support. So let's get back to the 315. Another reason I wanted to talk about circumstances, because I let certain circumstances affect how I was doing in the gym. Now, I'm not using any excuses. We're just going to show results, and like I said, this year is going to reflect that. Let's get back to the squat game. So without further ado, I'll see you on the next one.
Here we go.